Today we're making one of the most delicious ferments of all time. Kimchi. Silly easy to make and you'll have uplifting deliciousness in no time. We start with a 900 gram or 2 pound Napa cabbage, also known as Chinese cabbage. Additionally, they ferment these whole, cut into long quarters, but we'll do it a bit differently for the sake of your convenience and sanity. And I'll tell you why in a bit. Get rid of the base, then separate the leaves. You want to give this a nice rinse on the cold running drinkable water. Grab a few leaves at a time and line them up. Square off the bottom bits for aesthetic purposes or leave them on if you like. Your life, your choice. Cut them up into roughly 5 cm or 2-inch strips across. I like cutting them this way because it makes the salting and marinating stage a breeze. And when it comes to eating it, you have perfectly cut pieces. Instead of making a mess, cutting up cabbage, when all you want to do is squeeze a little joy out of life. It also minimizes the risk of accidental death by choking on a foot-long piece of spicy cabbage for those too lazy to cut it. Anyway, get all your cabbage into a large, clean container. We need 60 grams or 3.5 tablespoons of sea or rock salt, non-iodized, natural and medium coarseness. Get that into the cabbage and start working it into the leaves. Additionally, you have to salt the leaves individually while keeping the stem intact. Time wasting 101 for me personally. Been there and done it, so you don't have to. So let's just get a little firm here and give them a nice press down into the container. You will already find that the cabbage is releasing a lot of water at this stage, which is the whole point, right? Leave it salting for about 30 minutes to the side. Meanwhile, get 240 milliliters or 1 cup of water into a saucepan, followed by 24 grams or 2 tablespoons of sugar, as well as 16 grams or 2 tablespoons glutinous rice flour. Give that all a nice whisking to combine. Heat on low and keep whisking until mix comes up to a gentle simmer and thickens. Remove from the heat and set aside to cool. Next you cut 40 grams or half an onion, roughly, into chunks and get it into a blender, as well as 40 grams or 2 tablespoons of peeled ginger. To deal with Dracula, we add 50 grams or half a cup of garlic cloves. In goes 30 milliliters or 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, followed by 25 grams or 1.5 tablespoons shrimp paste. If you can't find it, simply replace it with fish sauce. Peel and core an Asian pear and use 100 grams or half the pear cut into chunks. You can simply just eat the other half, of course. It's supposedly good for you. The second most important ingredient in this recipe is the type of chili used. Korean dried chili flakes called gochugaru. Other types like cayenne, etc. won't work for color and flavor. Trust me, I tried it, it ended in tears. Get 60 grams or 1 cup gochugaru into the blender and give that all a very good blend. You want to make sure you have a nice homogeneous paste, without bits of garlic, ginger, pear or onion still visible. Lastly, we cut the vegetables, which is also a mini tutorial on easily cutting a fine julienne. We start with a carrot, peel it, top it and tail it. Cut thin, oval shapes at an angle. Pile them up into stacks, as many as you're comfortable with. Slice as thinly as you can with a sharp knife, fingers tucked in. We need 80 grams or 3/4 cups of carrot strips. Get that into a bowl while we do the daikon, also known as Chinese radish. We only need 100 grams or 1 cup daikon strips, so don't go peeling the whole thing. Cut it into little planks, stack them up like we did with a carrot, then cut those planks into thin little strips. As simple as that. Allow them to join their carrot mates. Finally, we have 50 grams or 1 cup of scallions, also known as spring onions. Cut them into little logs, then those little pieces slightly on the angle lengthwise. Join them up with the rest of the veggies. We'll be wearing gloves for the next stage, and I highly recommend you do too, otherwise you will end up in pain. By now our starch mix have cooled down enough. Give it a good whisk to make sure it's smooth, and then get that into the veggies. If you've done it right, it should look a little bit like, well, like this. Next, add the chili paste we made like 10 minutes ago, and give that all a very good mixing to combine until you have an homogeneous mix. By now, our cabbage have watered out. There should be plenty of salty brine sitting in the container and the cabbage visibly shrunken. Give the cabbage a very good rinse under the same clean, cold, drinkable water as before. We need to wash away some of the excess salt and brine. Get it into a bowl and combine it with a chili veggie mix. Make sure to get it into every little nook and cranny. Once mixed, you get it into your favorite fermentation vessel. In my case, a sterilized glass jar, You can use any other suitable non-reactive container. Fill whichever vessel you're using 80% to the top and make sure to clean the rim and surrounding areas. No one appreciates a crusty, funky rim. Stay clean, otherwise you'll have problems. Leave some room at the top because, like many ferments, it creates gas and we don't like cleaning up the spillage. It's as simple as that. Add a little piece of food-grade plastic wrap or cabbage leaf on top, followed by a small weight. In my case, a little dipping dish. You can close the lid if you want, or even better, remove it and use a rubber glove. This lets you visually observe the fermentation and avoid you having to burp the thing like a baby. Stick the date on it to remember when you made it. Let it sit at room temperature, usually in the range of 21 to 28 degrees Celsius or 70 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Let it ferment for 3 to 5 days or until you're happy with the sourness. Store in the fridge for up to 3 months and only use clean utensils to take it out of the vessel.